Hey, Alan, welcome to day 7 of the 31 Days of Shadow Work series. I'm Keandra, and I'm so excited that you are here with me to wrap up week 1 of this series. As usual, we're going to dive into a brand new prompt that is going to help you explore your shadows and enhance your healing journey. So, today's prompt is all about identity. Remember, this is a safe space for self discovery, and be gracious with yourself, be patient with yourself, and allow yourself to feel all the feels. So, let's get into it. So, today's prompt is: how does a strong Black woman narrative impact how you view your own vulnerability? Now, I love this question because the strong Black woman narrative has impacted generations of Black women. Generations of Black women have not had healthy relationships with themselves, with their partners, with their daughters, with their sons, had for decades because of this whole narrative of being strong. So for me, in the past, I definitely feel like the strong Black woman narrative made it to where I didn't feel comfortable crying. I didn't feel comfortable being honest about how I was feeling. I didn't feel comfortable really showing up and sharing anything but emotions of strength. So if I was struggling with something at school, I didn't really feel comfortable saying that I was struggling. I always felt more comfortable just figuring it out on my own. If I was struggling with something in my romantic relationships, I would just lash out or block them or not talk to them instead of being willing to be open and share those emotions. So I also feel like a big part of the strong Black woman narrative comes from the way that we saw our moms interact with us growing up. I didn't really have a mom that was like talking about feelings. Like my mom was never talking about her feelings. My mom never like had conversations with us about things that she was going through and experiences that she was having. Like I honestly don't think I knew a lot about my mom until I became an adult. And for me, that's one of the reasons why it's very important with my son, who's 5, my rich best friend. It's very important when I'm talking to him to say my feelings. I tell him I'm overstimulated sometimes. Give me a minute. I tell him I'm overwhelmed. I tell him I'm not having a good day. I'm having a sad day. Like I try to be open about my feelings with him because I want him to grow up understanding that Black women are vulnerable and Black women do have feelings, and Black women aren't just strong all the time. Like there are things that we feel throughout the day, and we need support. And then even with him, I don't want him growing up as a Black boy, growing up into a Black man, thinking that he can't have feelings and he can't express his feelings and he can't have moments where he has to go regulate his own emotions. I create a space where we both have that in our household, even if that means like, hey, I'm going to my room for an hour. Give me a minute. Or same for him. I'm like, do you need to go to your room and take a moment? So I definitely feel like in the past it impacted how I show up like with my vulnerability, even at my job now. Like I have such a great manager at my job, and anytime I feel away, like he's like on it, like he's on it. I don't have to show up as a strong Black woman in any of the spaces in my life, and I love that for me. And I think even with this question, I feel like as a Black woman, make sure you assess all the areas of your life, because sometimes you may not show up as a strong Black woman with your kids. You may be honest with your kids, but you may not be being vulnerable with your partner. Or you may maybe at work when there is an issue or when you do need more support, you don't feel like you can ask for it. So start looking at what different areas of your life that you show up as a strong Black woman, and how you can start shifting that to like increase more vulnerability in your interaction with coworkers, with your boss, with your friends, with your partner, with your kids, because that's going to be a big key in showing up as your authentic self. So ask yourself, how has this narrative impacted how you show up in your relationships? What level of vulnerability you're allowing yourself to have with your relationships? Thank y'all for joining me. And as always, if you are participating in the series, make sure you use the hashtag 31 Days of Shadow Work. Make sure you tag me at Keandra Ware on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram, whichever one you're doing. Thank y'all for joining me, and I will see y'all back again tomorrow for day 8.